Okay, this is part two of the George Lucas interview from Leonard Maltin from 1995, exclusively to this tape, by the way. hmm It is. Definitely. It's still in my top three of all time. You have Return of the Jedi, Empire, A New Hope, Avengers Endgame, Avengers, the original Avengers, and Age of Ultron are my five favorite movies of all time. And none of the sequel trilogies even in my top 100. Not in my top 1,000. Yeah, like Lord of the Rings. I had to do three separate films to put one book into on the big screen. You couldn't do it in one movie. It would have been 9 hours long. His original script for Star Wars, I think, was like 600 pages. So he made like 200 pages per story. And it was a complete story. See? With J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson, that didn't happen. It is darker, and I got to see it in the theater. That was the first film I saw in 2024 in the theater. Happier times. That's how you do a story: a beginning, a middle, and an end. You don't do the end in the second movie. That doesn't make any sense. These effects still look amazing on the big screen, guys. I got to see these on the big screen with a crowd. It was not empty. When I saw New Hope and Empire, the crowds were loving it. Same thing with Deadpool and Wolverine. hmm Yeah, Frank Oz was the perfect voice. Yeah, so he knows Jim Henson from the 70s. Yeah, because Frank Oz was he didn't direct the movie until the 80s. Because Jim Henson was doing the Muppet movie in '79, so that was the like that was like 2 years after Star Wars came out. I love John Williams' score. Because John Williams' scores, they make you feel good, especially his early stuff from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the early 2000s. It wasn't until Rise of Skywalker I'm like, even his score is not as good as it used to be. It's got its moments. The best score in that movie is when in that. Oh no, wait! I have to lower this. I don't want any music copywriting claims. I love that music so much, man. When I heard that in the theater, I had chills this year. Each interview is about 6 minutes long. I love classical music. There's nothing better. That was the problem with the sequel trilogy. Without George Lucas's writing, directing, or producing, it didn't have soul. It's just the same movies, but with a bigger budget, longer running times, and no passion whatsoever, no direction. This is not a live stream. This is a reaction video. Even if I get 2 views for this, at least I'm going to post this on YouTube or Facebook, depending on if it gets a copyright infringement. I don't think it will. There's no footage. People clapped in the theater when they heard that. It was true. They were until The Acolyte came out, and they were like, I'm done. I was already done when the Bad Batch was over. I will. The originals and the prequels, George, not not taking your creation and then bastardizing it, because that's what Kathleen Kennedy did. Okay, that's it. That's part 2.